Right, good evening. Thank you so much for making time for the bulletin tonight. This Thursday night, we do have a lot lined up for you tonight, and from the political front all the way to social issues. Be sure to engage us on our socials. That is at Amwai Brian on Twitter, at LookUpTV. The hashtag to use this night is LookUpNews. A sign language interpreter is Josephine Ouko. These are the top stories tonight. Tonight, Korogosho MCA detained, as ruling on his bail set for tomorrow. Also tonight, former President Uhuru Kenyatta condoles with the family of the late George Magoha. And 4 suspects in the murder of LGBTQ crusader Edwin Kipto, also known as Chiloba, released on bail. Right, now let's start this bulletin with what has been happening in the corridors of justice. Korogosho Member of County Assembly Absalom Odhiambo, famously known as Matakwei, will now remain in custody until tomorrow, when he will know his fate, after the Director of Criminal Investigation asked for more days to complete investigations.
The Korogosho Member of County Assembly was arrested yesterday, was today arraigned in court to answer to charges of incitement.
The application before court is an invitation for the Honorable Court to limit the respondent's right under Article 29.
This comes after the ODM County Assembly member is alleged to have made sentiments which are likely to cause chaos and destabilize the country during an Azimio la Umoja rally on January the 23rd.
Tunataka tutoke, tuende Ikulu, tutoe huyo mwizi Ikulu. Na mimi nataka niseme namna hii, lazima tuingie town, tufunge na biashara, hakuna biashara itaendelea hii capital city of Nairobi. Ndio William Ruto ashimu Raila Amolo Odinga, lazima tufunge biashara hii Nairobi.
Officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigation have requested the court to grant them 7 more days to complete investigations against Odhiambo before forwarding the findings to the DPP.
They were on the media. It is a threat to national security, and they were even attacking the president. He's a symbol of national unity, as I said. Okay. So very well, I will reiterate that he will. We are apprehensive that the MCA will use this position to influence members of the public who might be witnesses in the case.
However, his lawyers, led by Danstan Omari, refuted claims that Odhiambo is a flight risk, arguing that the case is politically motivated.
This is about an utterance against the head of state. The respondent cannot contain the head of state. The head of state can record a statement as and when he wants. You are being used on the question of politics. The state will definitely charge you. And either after 2022 or 2027, they will again withdraw.
The ruling on the matter is expected to be made tomorrow.
There's no need of arresting a member of County Assembly, member of the public, the parliamentarians. Kindly, yesterday, as members of the County Assembly addressed the media and said, kindly, we asked the state actors to arrest one called Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's what we are daring them. Stop arresting small fish. We have our father, called Raila Amolo Odinga. Arrest him.
Ian Keitani, LookUpTV.
Now, the immediate former President Uhuru Kenyatta on Tuesday paid a visit to the home of the late George Magoha to condole with the family. Uhuru, alongside his wife Margaret Kenyatta and Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, paid their respects to the family of former Education CS. Kenyatta also eulogized Magoha as a hard-working member of the cabinet, while at the same time taking a swipe at the president, saying that his government is a government that speaks so much but has little to show in terms of their work.
You know, there are 2 types of people. There are people who talk a lot about what they will do and do nothing. And those are many. But there are people who will talk very little but do a lot, and their deeds are seen. Magoha belongs to that class of people who are doers. Very little talking, but in executing, the deeds are there and will never be wiped out, no matter what anybody may wish or desire. Na wewe Steve, usijali hii watu wanapiga mdomo, wacha wapige bana. Najua mtu ambaye hana kitu kingine ya kufanya lazima apige mdomo. Wacha wapige mdomo. Hiyo ni dunia. Sisi tunaendelea na yetu. Mungu awabariki na walinde. Asanteni sana.
Right, it has been a minute before we actually got to see him in public. Now, away from that, the Eldoret Law Court has today freed 4 of the 5 suspects arrested in connection with the murder of Eldoret-based fashion designer and social media self-acclaimed LGBTQ activist Edwin Chiloba. Now, through the office of the ODPP, the prosecution asked the court to let the 4 suspects free, saying it had not found cogent evidence to prefer charges against them. Now, the 4 include an Eldoret-based bodybuilder, Dennis Litali, and 3 minors who have been directed to be reporting to the DCI office, Eldoret South, for the next 3 months. Meanwhile, prime suspect in the murder, Jackton Odhiambo, will remain in custody.
I'll give directions or orders that the accused be escorted to Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital for mental assessment, and in the meantime the accused will be held at GK Prison Eldoret pending plea, and the accused will be brought back to court for plea taking on 8th of February, for plea taking on 8th of February 2023 before the duty courts.
Now, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union has suspended its scheduled strike to the month of March so as to give time for the engagement with county and national governments. KMPDU is complaining of poor working conditions that is leading some of them to commit suicide as they cannot sustain the ever-rising cost of living.
Solidarity forever.
Statistics has made it bare that death among young doctors is on the rise.
Solidarity.
Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union has called on the government to quickly work on their demands and avert cases of Kenyans suffering at the hands of doctors. KMPDU Secretary General Dr. Davji Atela has insisted that poor working conditions and lack of employment are among causes of mental breakdown among young doctors.
Daktari represents the hundreds of our bright brothers and sisters who, after toiling for years training to be medics, have found themselves either unemployed or underemployed or working under precarious contracts that don't offer them any protection. The few who are lucky to get jobs narrate horrors of stories of having to pay bribes of up to 400,000. And some of the ladies also narrate how they're demanded to offer themselves or to offer sexual benefits to some of these employers to get the jobs and to get the vacancies.
The practitioners have vowed to down their tools by March if the government fails to address their grievances.
Suspended our strike for 60 days for engagement with the national and the county governments. But if they fail to look into this component of unemployment, if they fail to come up with a framework that will ensure that the doctors who graduate are employed, then we will not relent to proceed with our planned strike from the month of March, as already outlined into our documents that we submitted to them.
While referring to the controversial NHIF health cover, the medical practitioners are questioning the move of suspending some of their colleagues from different counties by their employers.
We can't have a country where every month we have to go to the streets to get our salaries. I know counties where people are not paid for 2 months, where you have loan deductions on your pay slip and they don't remit to the banks. In CRB, doctors are like the highest number of civil servants. You don't have a medical cover. In Nairobi County, we almost shut down because NHIF locked them out due to non-payment of the dues. It's a shame.
KMPDU representative from Machakos County has noted that lack of employment among medical graduates has affected their mental being and now calling on relevant bodies to join hands and help them demand better terms of service.
We want to bring it out across to everyone, that we take this up upon everybody. It is not just a doctor's problem. This is not, you think this is not your issue until you land in that hospital and it is your issue. Then at that point, we start saying our public hospitals have no supplies, they have no staff. While we are in a position to do something about it, we just choose to sit back and say, this is a doctor's problem.
Samedika, Look Up TV.
Now, junior secondary school studies has officially kicked off today with mixed reactions across the country as students express their joy, with parents lamenting the high cost of the curriculum.
Grade 7 students have today begun their junior secondary studies across the country. Most of them excited about the new curriculum.
I'm back to my school, to junior secondary. I just feel proud and good to be in my school because we are the first junior secondary in Milami. I just feel good and well.
I feel happy that the Lord has helped me to transit in junior secondary.
Despite their joy, private schools have found themselves at crossroads due to the junior secondary school fees, with that of public school students set to be paid by the government.
We are expecting to receive, because every class can get 30 students, and we have 3 classes.
Parents on the other side are also decrying the high cost of school uniforms and other requirements, calling on the government to intervene.
Schools, parents, not to restrict parents to buy uniform in schools, because it's very expensive to them.
This being the pioneer class in the junior secondary school studies in the country, teachers have also found themselves between a rock and a hard place, with the Teachers Service Commission yet to deploy new teachers across schools in the country.
Some of the subjects, like a pre-technical subject, some of the teachers have no idea. Is it physics? Is it chemistry? Is it art? So that's where the confusion is. So maybe the government could have maybe thought of saying this one should not be a pre-technical subject, it might be like physics.
Ian Keitani, Look Up TV.
All right, now away from that, President William Ruto has chaired his first paperless cabinet meeting at State House, Nairobi. The meeting, which was characterized by portable digital devices interconnected and attached to cabinet secretary files, memos and a secure notebook to assist them in taking notes, was a complete shift from the traditional bulky folders, large briefcases and huge files synonymous with such meetings. President Ruto has held the digitization initiative and said it will enhance service delivery by fostering efficiency and eliminating unnecessary bureaucracy in government. All right, 10 minutes past the hour. We do want to take a short break here on the program. Engage us on our socials, that is at Look Up TV, on our Facebook page, and we'll be able to sample your feedback as we continue with the program. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more, including sports.
Anza mwaka mpya na ushindi kwenye Lotto Mega Boost. Kila siku unaweza shinda boost ya shilingi 1,100 hadi shilingi 1,000,000. Zaidi ya washindi 200 guaranteed kila siku ndani ya Lotto. Mwaka mpya, mambo mapya. Jiboost ujijenge na Lotto. Cheza Lotto, paybill number 77700, andika neno Look. Kama account name, cheza na kati ya shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 1,000 na ushinde sasa. Jiboost na Lotto.
Changamka, cheza Lotto. Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
PP1, PP2, Grade 1 to 6, and the 844 curriculum from Standard 7 to 8. Do not miss out the opportunity. Create the best future for your child today. Revival Sanctuary School prepares and strive to excel. Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution or a university, and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Lookup TV and all our digital platforms. Call us today on 011 0430 158, 011 0430 158, or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke.
All right, now thank you so much for staying with us here on the program. Let's continue with the bulletin. Now, Chief Justice Martha Koome on Wednesday presided over the launch of the report on women in law. Now, speaking during the event, Koome stated that the number of women in law has increased more than that of men. Now, the Chief Justice also made a commitment to promote women leadership in this sector. Shada Kareria with that report.
Of applause.
It is at the lounge where the Chief Justice Martha Koome was in attendance, as was the former Deputy Chief Justice Dr. Nancy Barasa, in company of magistrates and judges and many law students. During the launch of the report on women in law and leadership, the Chief Justice Martha Koome shared her background with an intention of encouraging her fellow women.
From Africa, by other judiciaries, they want to learn from us. How did we manage to steer the election process, to have a peaceful election and transition peacefully? I was in America and they were asking me, how did Kenya make it? And I'm like, who is speaking? Is it America speaking to Kenya? So there is something that is happening in Kenya. We may not see it ourselves.
Koome asked women leaders to fully occupy the space given them by the Constitution, warning them against giving up the spirit of togetherness.
Did the Justice Nancy Barasa, Lilian Mwaura, people like Martha Karua, this is what they did. They extended their hand to hold us so that we can take the next step and the next step and keep climbing. And what we are doing today is to maintain that climb that we have done. I am here as of right. So what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to claim the space that we are occupying and sit squarely there and say that we are here as of right.
Koome stated that the judiciary and her leadership will continue promoting and encouraging women and young lawyers in the country, stating that the number of women in the profession has increased in the last few months.
In a span of 1 year, 8 months, I have admitted more lawyers than there were for so many decades when I joined. So this is a profession that is growing tremendously, and we have seen it is nurturing young women and young men.
Koome outlines some challenges she has gone through in her journey to recover the independence of judiciary.
Since I became Chief Justice, I found a stalemate where judges had been nominated and for almost 2 years they were not sworn into office. I came and found a judiciary fund that had been there being discussed, I don't know where, for over 10 years. And I said my focus is to ensure that the judiciary gets a judiciary fund so that we can get judicial independence. When I came, I found the judiciary, our Judicial Training Institute, had been taken and given to another government agency.
So there is a lot of work to be done, and ever so often I'll call on some of you if there is an area where you can assist.
It is during this conference that the Chief Justice Martha Koome has committed that the judiciary will continue working and encouraging women in law. Reporting for Lookup TV from Serena Hotel in Nairobi County, my name is Shadrach Kareria.
Right, from the corridors of justice to matter security, Isiolo County Governor Abdi Ibrahim Guyo accompanied by area leaders, have demanded the national government takes immediate security measures to secure lives and property of residents of Isiolo County, coming on the back heel of armed bandit attacks that left 3 people dead and several nursing gun wounds injuries. Now the leaders are demanding answers from government as to why there is constant lapse in security in the county, even as they blame security apparatus on blatant laxity. Our reporter Henry Tende on that front.
It is not business as usual in Isiolo County. Recent spate of attacks by armed bandits that have claimed the lives of 3 people and left scores nursing serious injuries have left anguish and increased tension. County Governor Abdi Ibrahim Guyo and other area residents were for the better part of Tuesday holed up in a meeting to forge a lasting solution.
Sisi hapa watu ya Burat na watu ya Olgonyiro ni mandugu. Vile Elemantili amesema hata tukitaka kuachana hatuwezi kwa sababu sisi ni kilimo. Ndio ili tuendelee kwa kitu moja lazima tuzuie wale mikora ambao wanakuja kuharibu uhusiano nini yetu. Sababu watu wa Olgonyiro waesienda kwa watu ya Samburu ni watu ya Isiolo, si ndio?
With illegal firearms in the hands of the bandits, residents here are pointing fingers to the national government and security apparatus for laxity.
Saa hii matatizo yetu kila moja ni serikali. Serikali kwa serikali sasa. Kila moja iko bunduki. Wa vijana ambao maka 20 kila moja amenunulia bunduki. Itapatikana salama wapi? Hawezi. Si tumewacha mambo ya bunduki. Mali yetu hawa wanachukua usiku na mchana, tunafuata tuna fimbo.
Ni vipi tutaweka ile uwiano? Serikali yenyewe haifanyi ile kazi. Mimi ningeomba kwa serikali kuu kama itawezekana. Wala security apparatus wote wako hapa watoke. Tuletee wengine wapya, tuone kama mambo yatabadilika. Ama hawa wetu wakuwe roho safi na sisi wabadilishe mambo yanaendelea hapa. Imeendelea hapa, ikakuwa nini upande ya Meru, tukapiga kelele, tukatafuta ugonjwa. Ikakuwa no coordination katikati ya serikali. Ati ule wenye ako hapa na ule wa pale hawa coordinate. Huyu anafika hapa anasema unajua pale is out of my jurisdiction. Tangulini serikali akakuwa na jurisdiction.
There are fears the persistent drought in the country will exacerbate the situation even further if drastic action is not taken to deter bandits that continue to wreak havoc on innocent residents, leaving behind a trail of destruction.
Saa hii jamii zingine wanang'ang'ana vile wataelimisha watoto, vile watafanya maendeleo na vile watajenga na kuendelea. Lakini sisi hapa tunafanya vitu ambaye inastahili kufanywa ma-19 huko nyuma. Tutajenga lini? Tutasomesha watoto lini? Tutapiga hatua lini? Kama kila siku kazi yetu ni kupigana tu kupigania ng'ombe, kitu ambaye ukame ikikuja, yako inakufa, yangu inakufa.
Already, plans are in place to establish a security camp in Mlango area to address the problem of insecurity.
Na hapa itakuwa na nini? Na camp ya kuhakikisha hakuna security itafanyika hapa. Lakini before hiyo camp tujapata, tutawaacha muendelee kuona.
Bunduki ndio itakuja kuleta suluhisho? Vita ndio itakuja kuleta suluhisho? Jameni, tukomae na tujaribu kufanya vitu ambaye inaendana na ile wakati tuko.
Henry Tende, Look Up TV.
Now to Matter Sports tonight. The Nairobi polo season came to a close with the highly anticipated Chairman's Cup. Now the tournament, which was held at the Nairobi Polo Club, the tightly contested event was the best attended with full turnout. Outgoing Nairobi Polo Club Chairman Raphael Nzomo expressed his gratitude to the sponsors for making the January Polo tournament a success. Nzomo encouraged the crowd to keep the same spirit going forward now during the regular season, which starts in May, and to support the Kenyan polo team in upcoming international games and tournaments.
One side. I'll come back after 5 minutes. In other words, I'm leaving.